Okay, it's the 11th of July. It's a Friday. We've got about 30 minutes to the NY Open. Let's go to the charts in a second. All right, let's take a look at the calendar. There's no news today. There's nothing. Yesterday we had unemployment claims. Price pushed down because it was positive, but it did come to a liquidity candle and price pushed all the way back up. And we're still pushing up. So there's no news today. Next week we should have decent volume because we have three major news events: CPI, PPI, and retail sales. So we're going to try to, since it's Friday, we're going to try to predict how the weekly candle is going to close. We'll do that in a second. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the weekly. Now, we've had this level drawn, this green level here for at least about 3 or 4 weeks, I think, this level here. And I said price is going to come there, it's going to push up. We did push up this candle, the previous weekly candle pushed up from 3265. I was anticipating this candle to also come a little lower, but it didn't. It pushed up from 3289, right? And we're heading towards 3367 and then eventually 3400, right? 3367 and eventually 3400. This has got about another 500 pip move. Now, the weekly candle, today we've moved quite a bit. The candle has moved about 270 pips. Not a lot, not a lot. What's the average rate? Averaging about 375 pips per day, the last 3 days. So it's still got probably a bit of a push left. 260, yeah. Yeah, we could get up here. We could get up here. We could get to 3367. We could come up to fill this wick, at least the wick, right? At least the wick, or probably even higher. It's about 180 pips left to fill the wick. Now, is the weekly candle going to close a bullish doji, right? Which means it'll have a top wick for the next week to fill and to continue higher, or is it going to close strong bullish above 3367? That's the only two questions, right? The weekly is not going to push down 600. It could, but unlikely. It's going to push down 680 pips, and you know, yeah, it can also push. It just needs to push down 120 pips to close bearish. Yeah, it can. It very much can. It can close bearish, but even if it does close bearish, it'll still very likely close a doji. So is it going to close a bullish or bearish doji? All right, with a top wick for the next week to fill, or is price going to close above 3350 and towards 3367, right? Is it going to close somewhere there, right? That's the only two questions. Is it going to close a doji or is it going to close strong bullish? Let's go to the daily now. If price is to 3332, yeah. If price is to close a doji, price would need to start pushing down, maybe create a new bottom wick and push back up and close a doji, right? So we'll have to start pushing down, right? If we are going to close strong bullish, then price is going to push down, grab liquidity and continue higher. All right. So if it's going to close a doji, price is going to grab liquidity from a liquidity level or a zone and continue to push down. If price is going to close strong a weekly bullish candle, then we are going to push down, grab liquidity and continue higher. Right? Those are the two scenarios. Let's go to we're heading here. We're heading towards 3367 and 3400, probably next week 3400, maybe not today. Yeah, I don't think it's going to do 550 pips today. You never know. It's a Friday, it could happen. You never know, right? But those are the two scenarios. Of, is the weekly candle going to close a doji, or is it going to close a strong bullish candle? Those are the two scenarios. If you go down to our trading chart, before we draw our zones, now we're going to keep that in mind. Yeah, we're going to keep the daily move and the weekly prediction and the daily move in mind, right? For the prediction to, uh, for the prediction to happen, we're going to keep the daily move in mind, because if we see a setup from a liquidity level that's going to fulfill that prediction, then that's a possible trade to take. Now, it might not happen in the first couple of hours in the NY session. It might happen after the 4-hour candle close, around 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. EST, all right? But we'll draw our zones, and then we'll watch those areas for a setup, all right? On our trading chart, now, we took a trade yesterday. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, here. We took a trade yesterday. 30-minute resistance form. This was all given. I'd shared it on my socials as well, on X and on IG. You can have a look at the trade. Price pushed down. Came from here. I'd given the entry, stop loss, TP levels, everything was given. Price came exactly to the liquidity candle. That was the TP level was here, I think 3313. Yeah, 3313 was the TP level. We tapped it perfectly, and then price started to push up, right? And there was also buy trade to go up. This was price came to liquidity, formed 30-minute support. This candle broke this 30-minute candle broke this high. So if you draw the fib like that, price came perfectly, tapped the sniper level. Stop loss could be under that, about 29 pips, 30 pips, and price pushed back to the liquidity candle and further, right? But we've been saying the price is heading towards 3,350, so you could have taken those buys and held price all the way up there, right? A very high RR trade. All right, let's start with our zones for today. Price is pushing up, but slowly. You can see the 4-hour candles are kind of staggering as it goes up, right? It's not a lot of volume because this week hasn't had any major news events. We should be breaking the liquidity candle high pretty easily. We've come here. If you look at the 30-minute time frame, we've come to this liquidity candle was created on last Thursday, NFP, right? This was the candle. This liquidity candle that I've drawn is based on the 1-minute time frame. I'm not going to go through all of that. You can watch the past yesterday's stream or day before stream. We went through all of that. But just to show you how many times price has come into this liquidity candle. So price created it on the way down, dropped, came up here. This was once, pushed down, came up another second time, pushed down, came up a third time. Came up a third time here, in fact, and pushed down outside the zone. Fourth time, this is also part of the fourth time because we haven't broken the zone here. Push down. Fifth time, push down. Sixth time, push down. Tapped it here, seventh time. Eighth time, push down. And this is the ninth time price is coming into that zone, and we're very likely going to push through, right? The reason I did that is just to show how many times prices come into this zone, this NFP candle. And now we're going to break through, and when we break, we're going to come to the next liquidity candle there. And then that might not have much liquidity in it because these two liquidity candles are stacked one on top of the other. And I've always said that when you have liquidity candles stacked one above the other, price is going to go through them, right? So we're going to go through this and very likely head to 3367, right? And anticipating that bullish move up. So what I would be looking for today is a buy, a pullback, and then a buy. Right? Might happen in the first couple of hours, might happen after the 4-hour candle closes. Right, let's start with our zones. Okay. Yeah, price hasn't broken the zone yet. We'll have to narrow this down based off the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, there. Maybe even the 30-minute time frame. Yeah. We keep it on the 30-minute time frame. So it's a 4-hour zone, but price has come deep into it. Hence why I've narrowed it down to this base here and this big drop here, right? So this open price here of this candle on the 30-minute time frame, 585. 5. Okay. So it's still 4-hour supply, but since prices come deep into that zone, it was a fairly large zone. I think it was about 250 pip zone, but it's come deep into it. So that's all that's left of the zone now, this bit. About close to 100, about a 90 pip zone. That's what's left of the zone. And they're getting towards 3,350. But once we break the liquidity candle high, there is nothing to push price down except 3,350. So if a 30-minute candle closes above 3,350, then it's very likely that we're heading to the next liquidity candle, which is there, 55 pips, and then we are very likely going to go through that. So probably about another 125 pips to this liquidity candle right here. Okay, so let's extend this to the right. Now this candle is based on the 1 minute. This is that NFP candle, right? Can't narrow it down any further because it's the 1 minute time frame. There's nothing on MT4. There is nothing lower than the 1 minute chart. Okay, let's keep it until it breaks. Once the high breaks, we can delete it. Okay, I'm going to keep it until it breaks. We'll try to narrow it down, but it's not really possible. Yeah, we're going to keep it. We'll keep it here until it breaks. Okay. It's just got a few pips more. Should break now. 10, less than 10 pips, 8, 9 pips. Then we can delete it. Right. Here we have a base here. This candle has more collective wick than body, and then we have a rally. So let's start with that. There we go, just about to break it. Let's take a look at this on the 1 hour time frame. It's pretty ugly here. Right, like that. On the 1 hour, that's better. So this will be the leg in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 base in candles, and that's the leg out. That's the base, right? And then price tapped into it and pushed up. So this would be based off the 1 hour time frame, but it's a 4 hour demand zone. Let's put the numbers there. 530, 419. Okay, further down, we have a zone here as well. Let's take a look at that on the 1 hour time frame. Prices moved up, but it's very slow. Yeah, here, yeah. Drop, base, and 2 candles out. This has no bottom wick, so if price comes down below this, then it's going to go below this as well. So this would be the base. Drop, 4 base in candles, and these 2 candles pushing out of the zone. That's the leg out, right? Low 1016, 968. Ten 16. Just bring this down here so we don't overlap it. 1016. Okay. 60 pip zone. Yeah, it's good. Still a high liquidity zone. All right. That's good enough. 400 pips covered. Okay, so let's extend this liquidity candle to the right. Okay, so so we have a new demand zone here and a new demand zone here. Everything else are all zones. So let's take a closer look at these zones, right? Price should be heading up. This liquidity candle should break. Once it breaks, we can just delete it. Okay, let's take a look at these new two demand zones and see if they are high liquidity candles, if they are high liquidity zones, right? So what I'm looking for is if price, the zone here has taken out something to the left, has taken out supply to the left, right? So there is supply here, there is a drop, there are basin candles and a drop here. This move up, these wicks have broken above that high right there. So this is a high liquidity zone, right? Which means price can come, react to it and push up. But we'll need to find a high liquidity candle in there for that to happen. This zone here has taken out this supply. You have this rally, these two basin candles and this drop. The trade that we took yesterday from here. Uh, Price pushed up, took out those highs, making this a high liquidity zone as well. All right, that's it. Now, I'm not looking for any sells here. No matter what happens, even if price pushes down 100, 200 pips, I'm not looking for sells here from here, right? And that's the reason I did the count. This is the 9th time price has come here into this candle. I'm not looking for any sells from this candle any longer. It's just about a 1 or 2 pips for the candle, for the high liquidity candle to break. So I'm not looking for any sells from here, even though we have 3,350, which is a high liquidity level. I'm not looking for any sells from here. I'm waiting for a pullback, 30 minutes support to form, and then look to take buys for price to continue up. Okay, now let's take a closer look at this area and see if we have a high liquidity candle in this zone here. Let's start with the 1 hour time frame. I'm looking for the largest bullish candle from the zone. There is this candle to the left of it, 128 pips. Let's start with that. Okay. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just push this up so the chart doesn't look messy. Right now, it's very confusing. So I'm going to push this up to maybe, let's go to the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, we'll come to this wick. That's better. 39.85 at 100 pips. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So that candle is there. Let's look at it on the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, 87 pips. Just look left of it. Yeah, there's nothing bigger. Hmm. Yeah, we keep it on the 30-minute. We keep it to this candle. And see the tap here in the London's, just before the London session opened. The Frankfurt session price tapped, pushed up. Let's use this one. Yeah, 3008 133. So that's a high liquidity candle in that zone there to the left. Let's take a look at this one here. Here, this is would be the largest candle, 113 pip candle. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. Yeah, good on the 15-minute. 958, 1016. I'll take a look at it on the 5-minute again. $44. Let's keep it on the, bring this down, 1016. Okay. Done. That's it. Done. Right? So there's a high liquidity candle here in the zone. There are also the EMAs, and there's a high liquidity candle further down as well. If price decides to come down to grab liquidity, it can continue higher. If we're currently reacting off 3350, I'm not looking to take any sells from here, right? From this liquidity candle, I'm not looking to take any sells. If we push up, get a reaction here to 3367 at the end of the trading day, maybe yes, sells are possible when price pushes up. Once it's done pushing up and price is exhausted and pulls back, does the retest, then we can maybe look to take sells. But that's going to be end of the trading day, if at all it happens. But price is very bullish. We're bullish on the weekly. Sorry. We're bullish on the weekly, very bullish on the weekly, very bullish on the daily, bullish on the 4 hour, bullish on the 1 hour, and kind of don't need to worry about 30-minute because we're trading the 30-minute time frame. So all the 4 time frames above the 30-minute, we're bullish. There is absolutely no reason to look for sells at this point. Right now, there is no reason to look for sells, right? I'm looking for buys, waiting for price to pull back. Price is above the EMAs. I'm looking for price to pull back, create 30-minute support, and then push up, right? That's it. That's all I'm looking to do. I'm not going to take a buy here inside this supply zone and right under 3350. That doesn't make sense because 3350 is just like 15 pips away, 15, 20 pips away. That makes no sense. I'm waiting for price to pull back and then push up, create support and then push up. Maybe let's see where we can push down to. Maybe this was the London candle. This is the Frankfurt candle. The big candle are going up. Yeah, we could possibly pull back here. Possibly pull back here. Yeah, that would be, if we come to this area, I'll look to take a buy. If not, then no trade today, and that's fine too. Okay, right. This is the NY open. Um, we're going to take a look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions, right? So let's go to the 50-minute time frame. Um, just a second. Yeah, yeah. I'm not looking to take any buys here or sells here. Price needs to pull back. It's very, very straightforward. I'm looking for price to pull back to take the buys. Soon as this price breaks above this candle high, this high here, I'm going to delete this one. Once you break this candle high, previous candle high. Okay, let's go to the 15-minute time frame and let's see what price has done where the market opened. There we go. We're breaking the high right now. This is the NY bullish move. Okay, doesn't matter. We have to wait for the 30-minute candle to close. Um, okay, this is the market open. Opened around 3324, right? Around 3324. That's where the market opened. 3324. This is a push down. Four. This would be the London high. Yeah, perfect. This is the London low. In fact, the Frankfurt low. That's the London move started there. Okay, perfect. 328, 328, double seven. 394. Okay, let's take a closer look at what the market did in the Asian and London sessions, right? So in the Asian session, we pushed up about 120, 130 pips, and in the London session also similar move, 140 pips, right? So almost the same amount of move at the Asian and London Open, right? At the Open, first 2-3 hours, that's the volume push, right? That's the massive move. I mean, that's the largest move that came in during the session open time, right? Now, price was bullish yesterday, NY session, right? We had the push down, and then as soon as we pushed down, price reacted to a liquidity candle. I showed this on the left at the beginning of the stream, where it reacted. That was that liquidity candle price reacted to, created 30-minute support, and begin to push up, came back, pulled back, grabbed liquidity from that candle, continued higher. Let's go back to the 15-minute time frame. All right, so price was bullish. Uh, the end of the first half of the NY session, and then throughout the second half of the NY session, right? We continued bullish. We pushed up, right? And this is where the market opened, right? So we were pushing bullish all the way up here, about 130 pips, and then price ranged a bit, and then the market opened here, right? We created a liquidity candle here on the way up here. Price has come through it, created another one here, pushed up. Right now, there was a liquidity candle here on the left on the way up, which was created in the London session yesterday. So price came down, created the Asian low. Price was inside that liquidity candle. When the market opened, we created the Asian low, pushed past above the liquidity candle, closed above, came back in to grab liquidity. All right. This light green box is the liquidity candle. Price, we created the Asian high, pushed down. We grabbed liquidity, pushed back to the Asian high, formed 30-minute resistance, pushed back down to grab liquidity from the liquidity candle one last time, and then went straight up, closed above the liquidity candle. Now all of this is happening, remember, inside liquidity candle, this large one here, NFP candle. All of that is happening inside it, right? That is why price is pushing up, pushing down, because we have liquidity pushing to push down and liquidity trying to push price up through it, right? This is the 9th time I said price is coming into it. So we came back up, we closed above the Asian, we came down, formed the London low. When it touched the liquidity candle again, pushed past up, came down, closed back below, pushed again up into the liquidity candle, created the London high, pushed back below the Asian high, closed back above, pushed back above, came back below, closed back below, closed at the Asian high, closed above, went straight, closed above the London high. Price pushed up, retested the London high, and it's trying to push, and it pushed straight to 3,350, and now it's trying to break this previous candle high, which is the end of this liquidity candle on the left. Once it breaks the high, it's clear to go right through. Okay, what's this high? In fact, 50.29. What's the liquidity candle high? 50.37, and this high, 50.27. Right. This high needs to break. This bearish candle high, 15-minute high needs to break. Once it breaks, we're good. It's going to go through all of this. You might have a big push up. Once it breaks this high, you might have a big push up. It depends if there's a lot of volume today. Now, very likely going to come below these. We've tested. Yeah, so on the 30-minute time frame, price has formed support pre-NY, but we're very likely going to break this low. There is no bottom wick on this candle. To break this low, come deeper. That's what I'm anticipating. I'm expecting price to do that, to come deeper, create support, and then to take the buys to go up. So right now, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm not doing anything. Just going to wait for this 30-minute candle to close for now. Right? That's the analysis. I'm looking for buys. Right? As I said again, I'm waiting for price to pull back, create support, to take the buys to push price to go up. That may happen in the first couple of hours of the NY session, of the NY open, or it may happen after the 4-hour candle close. The 4-hour candle has an hour, 50 minutes for the 4-hour candle to close, right? So it might happen after that, or even around 10:30 a.m. EST or after 10:30 a.m. EST, right? But that's the trade I'm looking for, a pullback, support to take the buys to go up. I'm not looking for any sells. I've explained why. The weekly, daily, 4-hour, and 1-hour are all bullish, so it makes no sense trying to sell in these market conditions, right? And that's the first reason. Second reason is we are at the end of the liquidity candle. This is the 9th time price has come to it, so I'm not looking to sell from this candle at all anymore, right? I'm looking for buys. So I'll just have to wait patiently for price to come down, create support for me to take a buy to go up. If that doesn't happen in during the if it doesn't happen during the live stream, maybe I'll come back in about an hour or so, come to the chart after the live stream is over, and see if it's done that. If it doesn't, then that's it. Call it a week, right? And come back next week. Next week is we should have decent volume next week because of CPI, PPI, and retail sales news. So there's no need to rush a trade. But I'm going to keep in mind how the weekly candle may close, right? Either doji, okay, either a bullish or bearish doji. The weekly candle could close a bullish or bearish doji, or a strong bullish candle, right? So I've explained right at the beginning, the first 5 minutes of the stream, I explained how, if for either one of those two situations to happen, for those either one of those two predictions to play out, how the daily candle should close. And I'm going to be watching for that to see if the daily candle closes in that way. And if it does, if I see lower time frame confirmations for the daily candle to move in that direction, then that's confirmation for me to take a trade. Any questions on the analysis so far on anything that I've explained? You can always post a question in the chat and I will answer. So if you follow my IG or X, if you follow me on X or IG, you'll see I've started posting every trade. If I do take a trade during the streams or just after the streams, if I do take a trade, I always post the trade soon after I take the trade. Um, when the trade runs, I take a screenshot and I post it with explanations of why I took the trade, and that explanation is always the exact same explanation that I give out here on the live streams, so that if you're watching and you want to take the trade, you can do that too, right? So here you'll see yesterday's trade, very clearly explained, right? Very clearly explained. We touched and rejected from the liquidity candle, and a rejection of the London high. The London high was there, price rejected the London high. Then second M30 resistance formed, this candle M30 resistance formed, and price broke previous candle low. This candle broke this previous candle low. So from the low of this fib to the high of that candle, from the low of this candle to the high of that candle, I draw the fib, and we took entries here, and this is all done on the live stream. Entries were taken on the live. Open the orders right inside the live. I opened them during the live stream, and then price just ran down, right? Straight down, and then here there was a buy trade as well. We didn't take that buy trade, and then price came here. Somewhere here, I think I ended the stream, and price came, hit TP. 3313 was the TP level. I'd given two TP levels, 3313 and 3307. I said take out 80% here. You can hold the rest. If price has volume, it'll come to if there is bearish volume, it'll come to the second one, right? But it came to a liquidity candle, and when it comes to a liquidity candle, it's always good to take 80-90% of your position off, because you don't know what's going to happen. And when price came here, it formed 30-minute support and pushed all the way up, and it's still running high, right? So there are so there is, for every stream, and every trade I take, I post it here with the explanation. Yeah, we're waiting for the candle to close. 30-minute candle is, there's nothing happening right now. Right now we're ranging here. Really nothing happening. At least nothing that's interesting for me to take a trade. I'm looking for price. We've broken the low already. I said we're going to break this low. This candle has no bottom wick, and price has already come to push down and broken this low. Right? We'll have to just wait and see for price to come. I'm not taking sells here. I don't care if price pushes down 100, 200 pips. I'm not taking sells here, and I've explained why I'm not taking sells. Okay, I'm looking for buys. Price to push down. Sells, if at all I'm taking sells, it's going to be from further up. Once price moves up and is done moving up for the day, it'll obviously come to a liquidity level or a liquidity candle, right? It'll come to maybe 3367 or a liquidity candle, maybe up here, right? Maybe, yeah, maybe up here. And then we'll see if it comes up here, about 250 pips, maybe then, and price pushes back, pulls back, retest the high, and then once it retests the high, if you get 30-minute resistance form, then I might look to take a sell down. That's like an end of day trade, right at the end of the day. So that's around the London close, right around 12 noon EST, after 11:30 or 12, after 11:30 a.m. or 12 p.m. EST. Um, if at all, there are sells. Unlike, there might not be sells. It might just, there could be, but I'm more interested in the buys because all the high time frames are pushing up. I'm interested in a pullback, support, take the buys to push up and call it a day. Yeah, this candle will probably close in this range, bearish, and it should break the low and come down. Yeah, we'll have to wait for this candle to close and also the next one to close. Once the next candle closes, I'm very likely going to end the stream. I'm not going to be here. It's a Friday. I'm not going to be here for too long, but I will come back probably in an hour to the charts and look at to see if you have a trade. The trade's I'm going to be looking for a buy, uh, for price to continue higher, past this liquidity candle, and past this zone to get up here, right? At least up here. So the further down it pulls back, the better to get a trade to push up. Now, yeah, we haven't tapped the liquidity candle in the London session. This is the liquidity candle here. It's an 87 pip candle. This is also an 87 pip candle. 87, 87.5. Yeah, let's have to do the numbers on this. 3609, 2740. 8.69, 869. Yeah, 875, this one. Yeah, so we've tapped it in the, oh, we have tapped it in the London session. Yeah, this is the Frankfurt low. So we've tapped it. So price doesn't need to come all the way down here. It could come close below the London low. Yeah, if a 30-minute candle closes below the London low, price could push down here to the Asian high, form 30-minute support, and then continue up. That's possibly where I'm going to be looking for an opportunity. Yeah, this 4-hour candle has no bottom wick. So maybe it's an hour and a half for the 4-hour candle to close. If this, in the next hour and a half, this candle doesn't come and create a bottom wick, then the next candle is very likely going to create that bottom wick to push up. We're also getting a reaction here. No. One second. This is open. 4607 high, 4588. No. To watch this area for a 30-minute candle close. Below and back above 33, 40, 41. Close back below 33, 40, 41 and close back above the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, that's the 4-hour candle low. This one right here. So 33, 40, 41, a close below and a close back above. Could happen. Close below this and close back above the push up. There we go. If you respect the high, then we're coming down. If you break the high, then we're pushing up further. There we go. We broke the high. We don't need this anymore. Done. Broke the high. We're coming up further. The reason I deleted the liquidity candle is it's consumed, right? All right, this was the liquidity candle. We've drawn it based on the 1 minute time frame. This was the NFP candle. Last Thursday, price has broken above it. It's done. There is no more liquidity in that candle. The candle is done. So that is why I deleted it. Okay. Broken above the high. Yeah, I'm anticipating price to push down here. 90, 100 pips move down, but I'm not looking to take sells. I'm not looking for sells right now. I'm looking only for buys because all the high time frames, 1 hour, weekly, from the weekly down to the 1 hour is bullish. So I'm expecting a pullback support to go up. Could be, if you get a close above here, 33.40, 41, a 30-minute close above this, then we could push up. Yeah, it's 200 pip move up. Easy. All right, just waiting for the 30-minute. Now I got to wait for this 30-minute candle to close as well. At the end of this 30 minutes will probably end the stream as well. But I've explained very clearly what I'm going to be waiting for today, if at all to take a trade. Buys, right? First half of NY session is possibly going to be buys for me. I'm going to be looking for buys. And if that doesn't play out, then maybe second half of NY session, there could be a sell trade towards the end of the trading day. There could be a sell trade. If price pushes up, depends. If price pushes up and price is exhausted, then you could get a sell trade to push down. But we'll have to wait for that. It's a long time. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. Yeah, we're pushing up, still struggling around that area. We should get some reactions here. Lower time frame reactions, but price is pushing up. That's where we should be heading to. Should get a reaction here, but we should be heading up here. If we break this high, this high here, 3355.5, that's the 4 hour, that's the zone, the top of that zone. If you break that high, price could pull back. If we break that high, we could pull back here. Let's see, we gotta wait for this candle to close. To wait for the candle to close. 16 minutes. There we go, pushing up the next liquidity candle. Wait 13 minutes more for the candle to close. Let's say wait for the candle to close. Maybe we can get, if we close bullish in the next 12 and a half minutes, candle closes bullish, breaks above this high here. This high is, we're just about to break the high, 3355.5. Once you break that high, then that supply zone is gone. The price can pull back around here, 33 for below 3348 to go back up. But you got to wait for this candle to close. Can't do anything until this candle closes. 12 minutes more. All right, I'm going to end the stream now. I got about 10 minutes for the candle to close. Like I drew the fib here. If we're pushing up, should get a slight reaction from these levels. Um, but price should, we've broken this supply zone, right? We've broken above the supply zone. Yeah, there we go. This is the supply zone. We can get rid of that now. We don't need that anymore. Okay. And now we are inside this liquidity candle. Perfect. So got to wait for the candle to close. And once that's a big push up, wait for the candle to close. And then I would draw my fib from wherever the candle closes, from that high to this, right? Wherever it closes, wherever candle closes, wait for the candle to close. And wherever it closes from that high, so this is the swing low, and then maybe wait for an entry between the optimal and sniper levels, right? Stop loss would be under this swing low, entry to push price further up, to push price to the next liquidity candle, about 130 pip move, and then further up to 3367 if there is volume, which is 175 pip move up, if you get that. But you got to wait for this candle to close, because you have no idea how this candle is going to close. You got to wait for the candle to close. Now I got to keep in mind this level here as well. As I said, 3340, this 4-hour candle that has no bottom wick. Price could push down to that, so you got to manage risk. If a candle breaks, closes below 3345, Yeah, if we start to close below 33.45, you've got to close your trade. 15-minute candle closes below that, because then we're coming into this wick here and we're coming further. Now, once price comes into this wick, if it closes, if a 15-minute candle closes below 33.45, that's low time frame support. If it closes below that, we're going to trade into this wick and price is coming further down into this range here, right? There's clean space here to the left. So price is very likely coming below 3340, and you don't want to hold drawdown, right? That is why that level is there to manage risk. But you got to wait for this 30-minute candle to close. There's another 7.5 minutes for the candle to close. You got to wait for this 30-minute candle to close before you look for the pullback to take the trades up, right? I'm going to be watching for this. Wait for the candle to close. Once it closes from the high of the candle to the swing low, and then wait for the pullback to take the trade to go up. Okay. All right. That's the end of the stream. Um, we had 4 consecutive days we took trades during the stream, 4 consecutive days until yesterday. And all those trades were taken live on the streams. You can watch the streams. They were taken live. The analysis was given, trades were given. I took the trades live, stop loss entries, TP levels, everything, right? And all those trades are posted on my socials, on my IG and X. You can have a look at it. And if there is a trade today, exactly as I mentioned here, exactly the way I will take it, and I'll post it again on the socials, right? Um, all right, so back again tomorrow, back again on Monday, 7:30 a.m. EST. Next week should be decent, should be good. We've got 3 major news events: CPI, PPI, and retail sales, right? So looking forward to that. Have a great weekend. Don't overtrade, don't over risk. Um, it's a Friday, so just be careful, right? Don't try to, if you haven't had a profitable week this week, today is not the day to make up for those losses. Okay, just wait for next week. Um, don't over risk, right? On your setups, if you are taking a trade, don't over risk. All right. See you guys 7:30 a.m. EST on Monday. Take care.